Well, this is what, morning number 3?
Coldest one yet, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's funny. It snowed 2 nights ago,
But went down in elevation.
but it's freezing. We were so cold last night. So, making some oatmeal and gonna get moving. Sun's coming up. We're a lot higher today, but we're in the burn area on purpose. There's an onyx hunt. There's an elk migration up that way. And we're gonna try to find a spot and camp a little bit. But we're glassing down into the valley. We still haven't heard anything, but I think we feel better about this option. Get up there, then we can just chill and look around.
Determine where they went. Like that migration on your app, I wonder if that is accurate, but it says migrating this way, they're migrating that way.
I would guess that they're migrating that way, over the bridge.
Based on what we also saw.
Yeah. I should do some research on I know a lot of people use Onyx Hunt. But I should do some research on like those migration patterns. Like how accurate are they? Are they from last year? Are they a guesstimate?
Or anytime you drop a pin that says like cow or elk, does it take it into account?
Yeah.
What do we have, like 5 miles left?
Like 4. Okay. Maybe 4.5. But
Gotta look good for the camera, you know?
of course.
Well, 15 blisters later, no elk. So, we suck.
But we learned a lot this trip, and we learned what we need to know more about.
Yeah, I'd say one thing that we did that I would encourage anyone going out for their first time, bring a little journal for all the things and like questions you want to ask and go back and look up when you're back in the front country. Like bring something to jot questions or ideas or thoughts. So when you go back, you can start researching those and actually learn from your mistakes. Like we have a whole journal full of everything that we want to improve upon. But I think that's one thing that I would say for sure looking at doing.
Yep. 100%. I think our biggest win was the Garmin.
Yes.
Great piece of gear to have.
We will accept sponsorship. This thing, I don't know if it's in focus or not. No, it's focusing on my face. But slim, can slip in your pack easy, in your like hip belt easy. But apparently from research that Draco's doing, it can last you a week. We were doing intervals every 10 minutes for tracking. And we're also checking the weather a ton because we got absolutely dicked by the weather. And it lasted about two and a half days.
Yeah.
So if you do get it, like, you will need to bring some sort of charger bank. But that was probably hands down the best piece of equipment that we brought.
Yep. 100%. So the cool thing is that we for sure have one, but maybe two more hunts for elk this year.
Yeah. I still have archery tags, so we'll probably, I don't know, we'll try getting out, but we'll see. The one, and I think we got a couple of them on camera today, but we ran into 3 cows, and it just got to the point where I was like, you know what, having a full freezer is better than the pride of not taking an elk and just settling with a cow. But never gotten in shooting range, but I think that was another thing where I was like, okay, be prepared day 1 and day 2 to harvest a bull, and then if not, then fall back onto a cow. But didn't really think about that until the situation actually permitted.
Yep.
For those of you who think, hey, why don't I just go pay for a guide to go take me out?
Yep.
Honestly, it might be more worth it depending if you're in this for a one-time thing or you're just looking to go get a bull that season. For sure, pay a couple $100, go with the seasoned veteran. But if you're someone like us who's planning to take this like generations down the line and pass it down to kids,
Yep.
that's where I say put your own time into it and make the mistakes yourself and actually learn from it so that you can pass down that knowledge to whomever, friends, like future kin. So although it might have been easier just to pay a guide to go get an elk, walking away with nothing always sucks, but like there's a ton of stuff that we're going to go back and look at what we could have done better so that, especially for Drake coming in November, can go back in the backcountry and have a lot better chance knowing, hey, if I do this or do this and don't do this, I have a better chance of harvesting. So I'd say for those who think, hey, it's worth it to go like pay for a guide, for sure it might be, but it really depends on the way you're looking at it. If it's just a one and done, maybe you don't plan on going out often, for sure it might be worth it. But if you're planning on going out multiple times, like, do it yourself.
Especially if you're coming in from out of state and you're just like wanting to hunt elk in Colorado because that's like the thing to do, then it would make more sense to pay for a guide.
Yeah.
But this is like where we live, and so we're gonna figure out the areas and how the elk respond in these areas ourselves.
Yeah. And then another product that we didn't really talk about was the app Onyx Hunt. Garmin, this Garmin has an app that you can use as well. But the Onyx Hunt, I remember looking into it and saw that like you needed to pay for it or get a subscription, and I thought it wasn't worth it. Drake had it and we used it a ton, and it was for sure worth it. Where if you're gonna be going out for more than a day or two, and whether that's just for a week-long trip or a couple times within the hunting season, it's definitely worth it. They have a bunch of layers that are super helpful with satellite imaging. The only thing that I found wrong with it, and maybe it's user error, is I couldn't find the topographical map. So being able to read like the lay of the land to figure out where elk would be bedding down was kind of hard, but that 100% could be user error there. But yeah, that was another feature that I definitely recommend is Onyx Hunt on top of the Garmin, just for anyone looking to go out for more than a day.
Yeah, it's cool because you can download. I downloaded a section of the zone that we were in, So that way, offline, we could still have great satellite imagery, even though we had no data. And then it will still track you using GPS, because your phone can still connect to GPS without cell phone reception. And so, it would still track us, which was actually a good backup, because the Garmin did die last night when we were out. And so I was still tracking with the Onyx Hunt using my phone, and my phone still had like 70% battery life. So it's just one of those things when you're in the backcountry. We kind of generally knew where we were going, and we spent a lot of time in the backcountry to know how to get back and forth between our camp and where we are going. But if you're not used to that, having the tracking is super helpful for you to backtrack your way in case you need to.
And just a nice little feature, if you're getting the over-the-counter tag, like it has all the zones and units in the app itself, so you kind of know if you're crossing any lines. Just another little simple feature. It's really tailored towards hunters. But I'd say those two things were probably the biggest things, other than like generic equipment. I mean, you don't need the top-of-the-line gear to go out. Is it nice to have Sitka stuff? 100%. Can you go out in like athletic shorts? Never bring cotton.
Yeah,
don't bring cotton.
100%. Whatever you do.
But anything synthetic, like just tailor it to your surroundings, whether it's green, gray, brown, like you should be fine. If you're getting that close to elk, it's not about their vision, it's about their smell and being more like upwind or downwind, rather. So, I mean, gear is not that important when it comes to top of line stuff. Just have a puff, a rain jacket, boots, preferably waterproof because you'll probably track through some mud, shorts, shirt. But you don't need anything fancy really to get out there. It should just be like pretty simple. Depending on, we were hovering between 12,000 and I think the lowest we got was about 10,000. So we were freezing. Like we had base layer and then rain jacket and then occasional like puffy to stay a little bit warm, and we probably could have gone a little bit warmer, but as you're hiking throughout the day, you get so warm as is that you're going to shed layers anyway. So usually you just need a base layer plus one, and then halfway through your hike you just shed it and throw it in your bag. But yeah, as far as gear goes, like you don't need anything special.
That's the Garmin going off.
We have a message. But yeah, as long as you have all the gear, like bow, arrows, elk calls. Granted, I didn't have any success with it. I probably suck at it. But if you just have your bow, your arrows, and then like basic hiking equipment, like you should be good to go. Like nothing's stopping you.
And don't think you have to buy the top of the line like Hoyt or Matthews bow. To get out there. Yeah,
mine is a Quest Hammer G5. I bought it off of Facebook Marketplace. I don't know. When I was in middle of high school, maybe 10 years ago. Bought it from this guy for $150. Took it to Shields, if you're local to Colorado. I think even Nebraska has some. But took it to Shields, equivalent to a Bass Pro, Cabela, Field and Stream, and just had them tune it up for me, reset my draw length, reset my poundage, reset my peep sight, and they did that all for free. So I just got a tailored bow, and I just got it off Craigslist. It works fine. It can get the job done. As far as arrows, when I went and bought arrows, I had no idea what to get. I literally just got Shields name brand ones, and just had them cut to my draw length. For arrowheads, I used Iron Will, fixed broadheads, much more of that boutique, a little bit more expensive top of the line gear that I probably have. Everyone that I talk to just recommended it so highly. And if you look them up, I think a pack of 3 is around like 125, which is definitely expensive, but they have a lifetime warranty, tempered steel, it's just great. And then other than that, I just have this Velcro release, and nothing special about it. Probably get it at any sporting goods store for like $20, if that. But that was pretty much it as far as wearing gear. And then hunting gear, I use Rocky Mountain for my elk calls, and it just came in a pack for I think $45 for the elk horn and also the cow call, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. So I think the moral of the story is just get out there. You don't have to have the most expensive stuff. Just get out there and have fun with it.
As you get better, you can also buy more expensive stuff.
Yeah.
But for those novice hunters, start small.
It's okay to spend money, but you don't have to actually harvest them. Actually, some of my friends that I've seen that have harvested bulls this year are like not even wearing camo. So there you go.